Yeah, Simon.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thanks everybody for coming today. I'm going to be switching back between these slides so you can see the scenarios and Abydos Analyser as well. So this is Abydos Analyser. As you can see, you've got a login screen here, which is should be very familiar to a lot of you. You log in using your same Remedy admin password and username. We use the Remedy API and it accesses the data in exactly the same way as any other tools you may be using. So I'll just log in here to my server. This server is on my laptop, so it should be nice and quick for us. And what you'll notice, in addition to the standard Visio layout here, is the Analyze menu. And from here we can access all the Analyzer features. Now I'll just go back to the slides and talk about scenario 1. So this is something you may come up against quite often. Your customization work is complete on an application, and you're required to generate some documentation to show the changes that you've made to the application and then present them in a legible and useful way. Now, in Abydos Analyser, we have many different ways of doing this. But by far the most powerful is our ability to produce documentation. Now, all the data we take is from a live server, not from a cache or a definition file. So this is all up-to-date information that's live on your server, whichever server you connect to. I should mention that Abydos Analyser is licensed on a client basis, and therefore you can connect to any server that you have access to with your login details. So if I go to this Produce Documentation option here, you'll see the menu here. And what we can do is select which workflow objects we want to document. Now, my requirement was to create a very comprehensive snapshot of the changes made to an application. So I'm going to just select all here. What you'll see is that it will populate these tabs here. And this is where you can customize the output of the documentation. And you'll see with a lot of Abydos Analyser functionality, we have the options here to modify it by both a date range. So if you just want to see the changes made today or over the last couple of weeks or since installation, then you can select it here. You can also modify it by the user who's been making changes. So select here. We've only got the one user, so that's shown there. We want to do a documentation based on just the changes. So if we put in a modified after date, then it will just show the most recent change made since that date. I'm going to set it back in the past a bit here because I'm not entirely sure the last time this was changed. There we go. And from here, we start deciding what we want to include. So these are all the forms on the server that you can see down here. I'm going to just concentrate on the help desk application we've got installed here. If I just select that and add that, it'll start populating the rest of the options as well from here based on the form I've selected. So I can include all the fields because I want a comprehensive idea. You can do it selectively. Just choose the fields you want to look at if that's what you need to do, if you've just been working on one specific object. Similarly, active links, we have a button here that just allows you to add all the relevant active links to the form you've selected. And there we go, you can see it's populated. And similarly with filters, escalations, if there are any. I've done this before, so I can tell you that there are no escalations associated with this form. So I'm just going to exclude those. Active link guides, I think I've done filters, filter guides as well. And the menus. You can be far more specific with these if you feel the need. If you have a lot of options here, you can just choose prefixes and such. And from here, we can also save that search that we're going to do, so we don't have to come back every time and populate these options. So now if I click Produce Report, it's going to search through my application, find all these details for you, and in a few moments we should have a nice, legible, and useful Excel spreadsheet populated with all the information that you're required to present. Just give this a moment. Okay, and here we go. So it's populated Excel for us with our customized front page. And then you can see down here it's opened new workbooks for each type of object. So this is the form. Obviously, it's got some of the key properties of the form, including some of the permissions. And then from here, it's got all the fields that are associated with the form. It's got if it's had a change made to it, then this would be included here. But obviously, nothing's changed in the date range I've specified. It's got some of the qualifications and related information, the field IDs. If I just scroll down here to give you an idea of how much detail we have. Similarly, active links and all the actions associated with those. And the filters, the active link guides, including these are in the execution order as well inside the guides. And we'll get into guides a bit later on with our guide diagram and reporting functionality. And his filter guide, similarly, we can do diagrams and reporting of those separately if we wish, and the menus with some of the information about those. So as you can see, in a matter of moments, I've managed to completely document an entire form, taking data live from our AR server and put it into an Excel spreadsheet in a useful form. We can now manipulate this, search it, save it, print it, attach it to any sort of development documentation you're producing, and you can then present that to your management if that's what's needed. No, I'm not going to save that for now. So, wrong option. So if that, we think that would normally take you 2 to 3 days to produce that level of documentation. The great thing about Abydos Analyser is that it automates it. And if you wanted to run that at the end of your day, then you can save the definition of the search specific to what you're doing, and you can just click at a click of a button, produce that high quality documentation.